Well, good evening. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Fox, here on the show this evening is the two young team, JM and Robert. Evening, chaps.
Evening, Ox. Evening, JM. Hope you're both doing well.
Yeah, evening, guys. Good to be on.
Yeah, young GB's away grafting, so stuck with me tonight, boys. Sorry about
that. Yeah, seems like everyone keeps fobbing us off on the Tuesday nights. It's free on the bounce.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. You know. How you, young Robert, thawed out, mate?
Getting there, mate. Getting there. Cranking the heating up still, but that's just because it's absolute Baltic outside, but getting there.
Cranking the heating up. Must have a few quid, JM, if he's turning his heating up.
Yeah, not many people bragging out putting the heating on, are they? I'm hearing 4 or 5 later.
Huh?
Just the 2 bars.
Just the 2 bars. Would you go on the thermostat 12?
13 if you're lucky.
Oh, luxury. What do you use to make this international break, or is something you have always been brought up with and just the norm for you, Giant?
I don't like it. Sometimes it can come at a good time. I think the one before did for us. It allowed us to reset, but I especially don't like it. We're on a good run like that. You just want the next game to come, don't you? Maybe from a selfish point of view, but I think especially at the end of the international, when a lot of the games didn't mean a lot in quite a few groups, it always seems like a waste of time, and you're always worried about players getting injured going into a busy Christmas period, aren't you?
Robert, it's something you've been brought up with. The international breaks, a generation before you. They played internationals midweek. You carried on with love football on a Saturday, and you didn't have these breaks. What do you think you would prefer yourself?
The less international, the better, I think, for looking at it from a club perspective. But as JM says, you want to keep momentum going, and the breaks always seem to come when either we need to replace the manager or we're in a good run of form. And I suppose this one kind of came at a reasonable, decent time so that we can get the players that were injured in and on the training ground. But the less the better for me, and it just seems that there's a lot more international games now than what there was when growing up. There's all these qualifiers for World Cups, Euro, Nations Leagues, and it just seems to be quite important times of a season. There's extra games that you probably could do without.
I read an article at the weekend, Jim, just saying that some of the top pros have started looking at it. That World Cup there, being when it was last year, they've really played for a year, and the stats and injuries are going through the roof. So maybe the players might start rebelling.
There's a lot of talk of that, isn't there? Especially in the English Premier League, and also, any team that goes far in competitions. A lot of them are playing, 50 to 60 games like we did a couple of years ago, and also, like I said, we're in the World Cup. It is a lot of games, and intention of the professional athletes. There should be recovery time, but find it hard to sympathise with the amount of money they're being paid to go and play 2 games of football a week or 3 games in a week. Yeah,
but you as a fan been shortchanged then? If you don't get to see the best players as often as you should at any level?
Yeah, it's something to think about if they're saying the quality of games are dropping down, but yeah, that's a point. But you're also, for what you're paying for your season, if you're not seeing them as much, if they're playing less games, how do you do it? You're either playing less games or they're not playing as much. I don't know how you'd figure that one out, really.
Well, interesting. Right, I don't know if you see some of the stuff that broke today. I mean, it's sort of been looked at. We're not looking for a lot of signings in January. I don't think that'll be a surprise to anybody, Robert.
Not really, mate. The players have come in. When Clement's come in, the players have obviously responded to his demands and his style, and they're playing well. So he did say they're going to be a clean slate, and if they're performing well, it obviously seems that they can go the distance throughout the season. Obviously, come January, it maybe change if there's injuries or a bid comes in, money can talk for some players. But if he's happy with what he's got just now, then we need to trust that and hope that they can go the full season.
For me, January, if we get one player in who was an automatic starter and improved our team, that would be a great window.
Yeah, it's just, I think we've definitely seen after our previous transfer window, it's not quantity, we definitely need quality. And to be fair, even since not giving Beale any credit or sympathy, but even since sort of the start of the season, this seems like the first time we're going to go with a relatively fully fit squad, and the results have been pretty positive since Clemence came in. So I'm not surprised that they're not going to start, saying, "Oh, we're going to be signing 2 or 3 or 4," because also you got to look at how that motivates the squad going forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah. And also, it'll be interesting to see if there's any players who are in the final year of contract leave or sign deals, and then we know where we stand, Robert.
I think that's probably what we'll see is a bit of movement in terms of players going out on loan if they're not getting game time here. Maybe some more young players going out. In terms of players that are out of contract, then if they do sign that pre-contract agreement or they go in January, that will be said to be seen. But the one for me is when they do sign a pre-contract, how does that motivate them to continue performing for the club for the next 3-4 months, knowing that they're leaving? It's always a question I wonder about how they actually motivate. What's their thoughts? Are they happy being at the club? We've seen obviously like last year, Kent and Morelos in the last few months done absolutely nothing. So their head was elsewhere. So it's going to be the same. Again, new manager. I don't think it will be the same mentality, but I always think if a player's signing somewhere else, then they're also not thinking about right now. It's the future they're thinking about.
The biggest culprit of that, Brian Loudon, GM, not a player that you would have seen, but he was fantastic for us. What a player, balance, poise, pace. Turned up in big games last season, last half of the season, going for 10 in a row. Pretty non-existent,
Yeah, the tools down, as in it's a sad thing, but when you if you take the emotion out of it, anyone else but your club, if it was anyone else's player, you'd be saying you can't blame him, can you? These guys are professional athletes, professional footballers, however you want to put it, and they've got to look after the next deal. If there's terms that they can't get injured, they're injured. They might not have a job the next season. Unfortunately, you can't blame these players. You've got to be looking at how we're managing this in the long run. This is seen to be the story of our season for a couple of seasons now, with players coming out of contract. So hopefully it's something that the new group of people that are running things behind the scenes have learned from. And going from next year, we don't start to see a lot of it happening to us. But it's a fine balance. It's not easy.
Would that not be the fine ideal squad, mate? That if you've got a squad of 24, there's 8 out of contract, 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. Would that not be perfect?
Depends what players and what positions. It depends. I mean, at the moment, 2 of them are our starting centre midfielders.
Yeah.
That's not an ideal position to be in, is it?
How do they play it then? I'll take this to you first and then Rob. How do they play it? Say Jack and Lundstrom. They're trying to get another job with us or with a new employer. If they're not playing, does that help them get another contract elsewhere? If they are playing with us, they might have options. And then if they get injured, wow, it's a real gamble, mate.
I think if you're playing it safe, if you're Jack or Lundstrom, you'd be wanting a deal whether it's at Rangers or another club, you'd be wanting that done by January if you're thinking a purely professional and career point of view. But I maybe think, especially both of them actually, to be fair, with Jack being injured, their thoughts might have changed from performance to that in the last 3 or 4 weeks with Clement. I think if you would have said to them at the end of September how things are going, I think both of them would have been thought they were looking for moves elsewhere. But I'm not fully convinced yet. But I think there's a percentage of the supporters with the ways they're both playing. If they continued it, wouldn't mind seeing both getting a contract.
Same question to you, Robert.
I think if they want to stay at Rangers or move on, they have to be seen performing currently with the club. Now, if they're performing well for us, then it's up to the manager if he wants to keep them. And if he doesn't, then somebody needs to be looking at them. And the only way they're going to get noticed is if they're performing well. So while they're with us, you want the effort, the commitment. But if they leave at the end of the season on a free and somebody else wants to take them, then that's their prerogative. It's their choice to move on and maybe not sign a contract with us if it's offered to them. So for me, I think it comes down to how the individuals are mentally prepared to play out the next few months of the contract with the current club. And as I said, if they impress us, then if it's what the manager wants, I think you'll offer them a contract. if he sees the future elsewhere, they'll know that. They might already know that, or by January, I'm certain that they'll be informed of something.
Yes, interesting. I mean, obviously, we'll be looking at players in the same situation, Jim. We'll be hovering there.
Oh, we'll be hovering. I mean, not claiming to know how it works, but especially how we operate, looking at the market, I'm sure we'll maybe have a list of potential players that are out of contract in the summer that you're allowed to start talking to. We've done it before. McGregor, Arfield, John Lundstrom himself. We've done it with plenty of footballers, so there's no reason why we. Jack Butland, yeah, we've done it with plenty of players. It's one of our sources, probably why our wage bill is slightly higher as well, because we're getting these free transfers. But yeah, we'll be looking at it. It's not an easy balancing act, I must admit, because once you get within that 18 months to a year, it's kind of out of the club's hands, isn't it? It's not easy.
No, what the players in the players' hands, but the gamble they've got is if they get injured. I
think you saw what happened. And if you do stop performing, I don't think anybody sort of 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago would have thought Alfie would have found it so hard to find a club, would you? Shows what maybe can happen if you're down tools.
Well, he's injured with Santos at the moment. Yeah, and he's got to play so many games, I believe, before he gets X amount, and it's no went well. And Kent Steele's no gone well, so there you go.
Yeah.
As much as I enjoyed watching them, they're not getting any sympathy from me. They've left. Simple as that, Robert.
Yeah, they have, mate. And as Jim said, they were two players that down tools, and you could see for the last maybe 6 to 10 months of that contract, they weren't interested. Obviously, I think it was Beale that came out and said that there was no talks about renewing them. And I think obviously Beale had said that he had given Morelos a chance. Didn't take it. So you shake hands and move on. And as you said there, I did see the other day that Kent is potentially allowed to leave on loan from Fenerbahce. Interestingly enough, there's apparently a Scottish Premiership team interested. I don't think it'll be us, but maybe one to watch come January.
I mean, just paper talk. But anyway, right, okay. Right, I think we'll get these phone lines open before we use boys a wee challenge, yeah? Yeah, you got a pen and
Let's see if anyone's got anything interesting to say.
Yeah. We need the callers. Callers make the show. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show. It's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right. Both you chaps are under 30, yeah?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Okay. I just over it myself, so I know what it's like. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to ask you to pick your all-time 11. We've done this before, but some of the guys have been slightly more mature than used to. Well, no, I'll change that. Slightly older. I don't know if I'm that mature. Right. To pick the best 11, but you must have seen them. There's no point in you putting David Meikle on your team, yeah?
Yeah.
Teams need each other, aren't these? Right, so you must have seen them, and you need to use a reason why you picked them. So use a few seconds to think over. I've got a difficult task to pick your all-time 11. It's interesting to see how people see the game, Robert, because everybody sees the game different, eh?
Yeah, you do, mate. Especially our generation. I'm sure we'll come across the players that we'll pick. How it's changed over the years. It's quite dramatically at times as well. So that might be reflective in the teams we pick compared to what it might be for the older generation, shall we say.
What do you mean, like Fox?
I don't know what to say, mate, but if you want to go with that.
Oh, okay. Aye, that's fair, isn't it? Everybody, the game's changed. People see the game different, J.M.,
Yeah, I'm sure both of us might pick up a bit of stick for a few different visions, but like I say, everyone sees it differently, especially and it's what memories stick out, isn't it? Whether it's goals or situations, or if you saw a certain match that might be in the highlights, and there might even be certain players that one of us mentioned that we may have even forgotten about.
Right, okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll be fair, right? What we'll do is we'll toss the coin. See who goes first. JM, heads or tails?
Tails.
Heads. Robert, I'll let
There's a
you
shot.
pick the goalkeeper first. You can first go a goalkeeper.
Right. Probably the obvious one for the generations that I've seen. I'll go with Alan McGregor.
Right, okay. Why?
Just in modern.
I'll ask you this question then. Why? Wasn't he great distributing? Wasn't he great kicking the ball? Wasn't he good at crosses? Didn't he come off his line? Why?
It was obviously a toss-up between him and another goalkeeper. I'll probably keep that to myself in case JM pulls it.
No. Why McGregor? Why McGregor? Is that are you arguing with some of the things I've just said there?
No, not at all. Just growing up for me, it was like the kind of the modern day goalkeeper of that time. His commitment to the club, his leadership kind of within the goals and at crucial points in games. He was a rock, let's be honest. Some of the saves he produced. Werder Bremen away, for example. Crucial penalty stops, Samaras at Ibrox, to name one. Even saving a penalty injured against a Scott McDonald. All kind of big moments that he was involved in. And just for me, he was an international goalkeeper at the time as well. So just a goalkeeper that the club relied on and was there for when needed. As you say, maybe not the best distribution and coming for crosses, but certainly in his first spell, a lot of good things that we saw from him.
All right, yeah. One of the finest shot stoppers I've ever seen. Yeah, no, fair enough. JM, goalkeeper.
I'll have to go Letizi. No, get it. I'm gonna go Stefan Kloss.
Stefan Kloss, you get back a bit.
Yeah, I've had to. Well, with McGregor being such a mainstay, however, going through obviously, and you're obviously going through to maybe some of my first, just obviously some of the titles Kloss won, the experience in there after McGregor. It's very hard at the moment. I think potentially we've got a future great goalkeeper, but through sort of mine and Robert's time, McGregor's been the mainstay, and that one it's the obvious second choice.
Well, once again, wasn't he great at kicking it? Wasn't he great at crosses? Yeah.
No, another one. Yeah, just a shot stopper that we seem to keep. Always seem to. Well, obviously buy with Kloss, but seem to produce or buy a good shot stopper.
Aye. Okay. Aye. Some record Kloss. Aye. Right. Okay. Right. I'll let you go through your two full. Well, we'll go to your right back first, JM. I'm assuming you're playing a 4. Would that be fair?
I'm going with a 4, and I'm going with our current skipper, legend, Hall of Famer, James Tavernier.
Not the quickest, not the greatest passer. Can he defend? When I say can he defend, he can tackle. Can he smell danger for a fullback? Why?
Goal scoring record always steps up. People not seeing him as a leader. I've seen him try and lead the team, and also people go on about his record. He has played with some bang average teams from the early start. It's been a constant attitude, never changes, never shies away. Stepped up in important moments. Europa League top goal scorer on our run to the final at right back. I think that's enough.
Okay. Young Robert, right back. You going with 4 as well?
Yep, back 4.
Right.
Right back, I've went for Fernando Rickson.
Fernando Rickson. Okay. Took off in his first big game at right back. Failed miserable at right back. Played all his best football for Rangers as a defensive midfielder. Why?
Again, just on the right backs we've seen over the years. I know you said that he came off in his first game, but to kind of bounce back from that the way he did.
First big game.
The way he bounced back from that and kind of continued his career. Was quite successful with the Dick Advocaat era as well. So again, to come back from getting hooked off in an Old Firm game to the way he stepped up to become captain, and again, all the way moved into kind of the midfield, based on the right backs we've had that I've seen over the generations, I just thought he was
If you say to me, Fernando Rickson was successful under Dick Bradbury cap. Did you see that?
I did.
Are you sure about that?
Might need to do my homework on how much trophies he got, but again, just
with Dick Advocat, you might want to check that out, mate.
I'll double check that. But no, that was my reasons for picking him. Just the way his character, the way he bounced back.
Tremendous character, great player for us. Right back.
Yep.
Check that out as well. Right, okay, but interesting. Right, I'll let you go with the left back, Robert.
I'm going to go for Arthur Newman.
Arthur Newman. Yep. Rolls Royce player, also Dutch. I like the Dutch, yeah.
There seems to be a bit of a trend here. You can probably tell when I started to get used to knowing the players growing up. But no, again, Newman just seemed to be a mainstay at the left back, and I remember his pile driver against Celtic Ibrox as well was always one that comes up in the highlights. Again, just a left back that I think growing up was for me one of the first time seeing an attacking fullback at the club, and then it was a position that we maybe have not had the best success previously that I've seen throughout the years. But again, as you said, a Rolls Royce, it was up and down all the time at left back, up to the wings, and assists, goals, and it was a fan's favourite as well.
5 years, I think, Mays, yeah. Started with a treble and finished with a treble, I think. I'm right. I need to check that out.
I think his last game was the Scottish Cup final at Hampden. There's a few the Dutch boys left at that year.
The Amoruso one.
Amoruso header, yes.
Yep.
2003. That was a good week. That was a good week. Right, left back, JM.
May have done a slight pencil change after the stick. I saw Robert put in a Dutch guy who mainly plays centre mid for us into a fullback position. So I'm going with Sasa Papac.
Came as a centre half.
That was good. He came under the Paul of Gwen, didn't he?
Yeah.
Obviously a centre back.
Couldn't run. Bad hairdo. Didn't score many goals. But a good player. Yeah.
He was steady, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10 every week, yeah.
Walter Smith moved him over, didn't he? And it was kind of, he was shifting every position. He was making changes, but he obviously saw something there because obviously there was rules, but until obviously 2010, 11 when they went for Wallace, they never bothered, did they? He was happy with what Papac was doing.
Different player altogether for Arthur Newman, but aye, two good choices. Have you checked that Rickson stat out yet before we move on, Robert?
Not yet. I'm just going to do it just now. I was thinking of my centre backs there.
Yeah, this could be the end of your Rangers Radio career, if I'm being honest. You know what I mean? What a way to go, a hero after doing the big sleep put. Jay,
Yes, hero to zero. Kind of like the Rangers teams when we were growing up. They got better and worse, didn't they?
Right, okay. Well, your first centre back, Giant.
My first one, I'm going to put in as my first one. Obviously, I got four. Maggi Bagheera.
Oh, all right, okay. Entertainer,
a real hothead. The goals away at Stuttgart, a great goal, similar to the one at home to Dundee United in the 7-1 thrashing. I won't say the name of it. Obviously, he came in and replaced another very, very solid and good centre half. There might be on someone's list sort of at that time, moved on to the Premier League. But no, good and done a good job for us in the league, didn't he?
Big Magic. Entertainer at centre half. That's unusual. Good pick. Robert?
Big Lorenzo Amoruso.
Right, okay. Cost us a place in the Champions League. Injured his first season. Came in, we blew the league. Played in the cup final, we lost that. Got the captaincy stripped off him. Left after the game that he scored the winner in. But when he played, top player.
Yeah, definitely, and a kind of typical defender in a way. Strong on the ball, off the ball, in the air. Kind of good quality leadership skills as well at centre back, and just seemed to be someone that played for the badge. Kind of got the players kind of motivated at times, and you could see the passion he had as well on the pitch. So I thought it would have been an interesting choice to go with Big Ammo.
I mean, you're out socially. Fox is always getting mistaken for him. Always.
Is it the hair?
Just the general persona, you know. Always. Right, your second centre back.
Let me have a look. Sorry, I've got Carlos Cuellar.
Oh, you.
Somebody's just had to put a pen through their choice. Carlos Cuellar. Played one season for us. Never won the league.
I think
He was classy though, wasn't he? I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, you could see the step up in class when he was there, and probably the save of the season as well at Parkhead. Let's not forget.
He was some player for us. Good player. I think he played 60 odd games in that one season. Yeah, we got about 8 million for him for Villa, and went down there. I think he strolled through that league as well. Top player. Good pick. JM, second centre half.
It's gonna be a real come down this, but I'm now gonna go for I'm going with Davy Weir.
Right, okay. Well, beginning of the year, and obviously with Cuellar, you know, he was the constant between them. You know, came at the twilight of his career, couldn't he run? You know, just wary two players, put a great partnership with both of them, and really successful. One got us to a European final. Two came in and then got us the league back, and he was there. Part of 3 seasons in a row, we won the league at the twilight of his career. Top pro, Davy Weir. Good pick, mate. Good pick. The 3 of them, good centre halves. 4 of them. Excellent. All right, so GIM, what you going for, a 3 in midfield? 4, 2? What you doing?
I'm planning on going one from. I'm planning for go for a 2-4, if you like, or a 4-4-2 if you're being old school, but just slightly more offensive on it. But yeah, a 4-4-2.
All right, so we'll take your right side of midfield.
I'm going with, on the right side of midfield, I am going to go with Kanishka.
Oh, Kanija.
Yeah, Kanija.
Yeah, came to us for the day after I think that cup final, and was excellent for us. Was it that cup final? No,
because he would have been playing for us. No, he played in that game, didn't he? Then in the league, obviously, when we won it at home to Dunfermline, he was playing. It was before that.
Top player. I mean, right up there at the peak of his powers, you know.
Yeah, just skillful, obviously, and not only that. Obviously, he was maybe at the maybe the twilight of sort of run down, but obviously just the pedigree of the player, a renowned entertainer and class act, and we got still got good stuff out of him.
You only put him in because you want to sign for his daughter. Right, Robert?
I've went for, on the right, I went for Neil McCann.
On the right?
Yeah. You'll see why later on the left, but I went for Neil McCann on the right.
Right, I'm trying to think if I've ever seen him play there, mate.
I've seen him play, but it might not have been on the right position, but that's why I'm putting him in this.
Right, all right. You be that to glue?
No. I've just got
I now want to pick my left midfielder first as well. See what he does then.
I hope you don't. This is why I've put McCann on the right.
So you've got a right back. The Harlot was very unsuccessful there, and the guy in front of him always played the other side of the pitch. It's a team balance, Robert.
Didn't have to be balanced, just had to be the best that I've seen. So I'm picking the best I've seen on the spot here.
Okay, remember Fox is marking this. Right, okay, right. So we'll go with your centre midfield, one of them. Robert?
I like what you did there. You're avoiding the left mid first. Centre mid, Barry Ferguson.
Right, okay. Reason?
Might be the obvious choice, but growing up, seeing a player come through that was one of our own, a supporter like myself, getting the captaincy, leading by example at times. I know we had obviously his issues kind of off the park with media and things, but
You couldn't get the top table at the Christmas party this year.
I know, but Bomber Brown was there, so you have to let him aware of that one.
All right.
But no, he obviously had his issues off the park and things, and left the club and came back. But it just, we always kind of refer to a midfielder of nowadays. We wish we had a Barry Ferguson type of player, a leader, or somebody that gets the club, and it was just somebody that I thought grew in that position and from a young age to take a captaincy, lead from example, and again, just one of us really that get asked the club.
Well, funny enough, I think one of his finest performances was in the Scotland jersey at Wembley. Top player. Giant, first centre mid.
First one, I'm going to go with, and I thought Robert maybe could use this as an option. I was right, because when he came as a new, I'm going to go with Stephen Davis.
Stephen Davis. Sir Stephen Davis. One of Britain's most capped footballer. Not the biggest. Not the fastest. Not the greatest tackler. Not get the hardest shot. What a player.
Yeah. Class that when he constant for years, class that all the stuff he does with Northern Ireland, you know. Anytime you watched or hear reports of Southampton, he strolled it in that league. I think could have played in majority teams in that Premier League as well. Maybe just not a fashionable name, but a quality player.
What a player. Okay. Your second right midfielder, Robert? Second centre mid?
Hang on a minute.
Giant wanting to go first here?
Well, you go on.
Right. Centre mid. On you go, Robert.
Well, it was going to be Stephen Davis in centre mid and not the right mid position, but I'll change it to Mikel Arteta.
Mikel Arteta. One season was penalty kicks for his 40 at the end of the season.
Yep.
In the famous picture when we won the league. Good player. Said he was homesick, engineered the move, but we'll never forget him, and he's always been really complimentary to our club. Great football. Giant.
Pedro Mendes.
Mendes and Davis. Oh. Yeah, top player. Wasn't raised that long, but the memories he gave us in such a short space of time.
Yeah, just even the goals. Obviously, the one away at them stands out, but also that one at Inverness just after half time.
I think he scored about 4 goals, mate. I don't think he scored that many. I'll check that out for you, but yeah, good player. Good teams you're building here. Right, okay, Giant, you've got the left of midfield. See what I've done there, Robert?
Oh, no.
Giant, left of midfield.
Greg, well, no, I'm joking, Robert. So I'm going with Peter Lovenkrands.
Peter Lovenkrands, okay. All right, you've got a tagging player, so all right. Right. Wasn't his best position? He came there, played maybe better as a winger and had a lot of success through the middle. Scored a lot of goals against them, had a run. We got a few quid for him. He was a good player for us, mate.
Yeah, a lot of goals. Obviously, the goals against them, but also some of my earliest Champions League memories. He's the one that scored the goals as well.
All right.
Some important goals and whatever. Sort of watching the games midweek and that, them ones sort of stand out.
Robert, the left of midfield.
It wasn't Peter Lovenkrands. George Alberts.
Okay, all right.
The Hammer.
George.
I thought that's who Giant would have had, so I was a bit worried.
Yeah, you know what? Hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it, Robert? But no, I'll stick with mine. My team's still winning.
Okay, all right. George, right?
Yep.
Yeah, a great goal scoring record. Liked a fag. Just played the game. Good days, some wonderful things. Wasn't the quickest, but could go all day, and obviously that shot, Robert.
Terrific left foot, mate. Terrific. Again, the goal scoring record, and obviously I didn't get to see the Brian Laudrup, but you watch the highlights and you see Laudrup and the players of that era. It's just a different class, but Albert's just always seemed again to have that extra quality about him, and what a player.
Yep. Okay, I'll let you have the first. Your forwards.
I am going to go with Dado Purcell.
Dado Purcell. Came with his one leg, couldn't run. Oh, what a warrior. Played with Croatia, competed at the highest level in the World Cup, had a great World Cup. Kept battling for us. Good player, him and Novo. Good partnership. We didn't have him for that long because of his knee, but he was really popular player. Good football. Yep. JM, your first forward? Yeah.
It's a tough one. We've had a few different ones, but my first one's going to be, this kind of gone against the sort of running my team hit, but Michael Moles.
Oh, wow. I think for a certain generation of people would think Moles was the one that got away when he came on the scene. Now, whether it was for big money or whether it was going to be just unbelievable for us, there was maybe an argument between two, the way Negri started his career and the way Moles started his career. And both different injuries, but Moles, that turn, I don't think I've ever seen anybody. Well, to be fair, if Bridgman's turn getting away from the bars quite quick, but that one, Moles' turn, and when he came on the scene, it was just wonderful, wonderful. Unique footballer. Right, your other forward?
My other one's a bit, I was torn between a couple of players, because I've got Moles with a goal scoring and a turning. Just from watching him play all the time, I enjoy watching him. I'm going to go with, it's a tough one, I'll leave it, Jelavic.
Oh, Jelavic. Yeah, he was another one that maybe got away in the circumstances in 2012, and he left us, and and the year before he was just frightening. And also, one of the reasons I was support never took to Ian Black, apart from did kick a ball for us a tackle. He got injured, cropped at Tynecastle, a covers tackle.
Yeah.
And never got to fulfil his potential. He came back and was brilliant, but that was a bad injury, bad tackle, but a top player, had it all. Lead the line, skill, pass, score, all different types of goals. A wonderful player. Young Robert.
Ronald de Boer.
Oh, yes, mate, yes. Yes, just top player, top footballer, thinking man's footballer. Could play the game, score goals, make others play. Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. Again, different class of what we've got nowadays, and over the years we've kind of probably seen the football change, as you said, in generations. The modern days changed it to the type of striker, but he seemed to have it all back then.
Yep. So, read out your team, JM.
Yep. So, sorry, 2 seconds. Just crossing out the lines where Robert took him. So, my team was Stefan Kloss in goal, James Tavernier right back, Maggi Bagheera and David Weir at centre half, Papac at left back, Peter Lovencrantz at left midfield, Stephen Davis and Pedro Mendes in the centre of midfield, Kanizka on the right. Up top, I had Michael Moles and Nikita Jelavic. Some really good players missing out of that, aren't there?
Yeah. Yep. And your team, Robert?
McGregor, Rickson, Amoruso, Quayler, Newman, McCann, Ferguson, Arteta, Alberts, Purcell, de Boer.
All right. Just out of curiosity, because he's going to pick the same players, was there many clashes for you, Robert?
Yeah, a few. I tried to write down maybe 2 or 3 players per position. I did have a number of strikers. Jelavic was one of them. Moles is one of them. Boyd, Miller, Avalazzi, But again, it was just based on what they had done at the club, and that went with Purcell and De Boer. That was
How many clashes with JM's team?
I had Davis, I had Moles. I think I took Newman from him, so I was probably about maybe 3 or 4.
Oh, right, interesting. And what about you, JM?
Yeah, about 3 clashes there. I was torn between it. It was like I got the left midfield. I actually didn't even have Alves at all. I was between. Robert took McCann off me, but as a right midfielder, so I think there's a bit of cheating there. But apart from that, yeah, it's pretty similar. Like I said, leaving all them, there's a lot of strikers. Yeah, we left one of our, Chris Boyd out. The amount of goals he scored, he's not in it. Nacho Novo, players like that. Yeah, there's a lot of players that could have been in it.
Yeah, Boyd, shorter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Giovanni.
Did you see Giovanni? Did you see him? Did you see him play?
Very, very young, so that's why I went for Newman. But he was on my list of left backs that I'd seen. But again, I've seen more of Newman than Gio.
I saw the stick you got for putting Ricks in at right back, so I wasn't putting Gio at left back. It was
even though his career after the left us, he went to left back with Barcelona and Holland, mate. Yeah, he kept Newman out of the Dutch team, yeah.
Yeah, he ended up there, didn't he? Obviously, he ended up there, but he was a midfielder with us, wasn't
he? Yeah. Interesting. Right, okay. I'm going to bring in a Fox, and he's going to see what he thinks of both your teams, yeah?
Here we go.
Come in you come, Mr. Fox.
Well, I believe it's a lot better being my age than their age. Had a wider range if I was picking a side. I think they were quite interesting teams. I'll give you my team. You want my team?
The ones that you've seen?
Aye. Well, I would pick a...
Wait a minute. We're going to rephrase this. The ones you've seen sober?
Aye, well, that's a bit more like it. Sober ones.
Right, okay.
Well, I would have picked a 4-3-3, and it'd be an attacking setup I would pick. I'd have Andy Gorham in goal because his anticipation and knowledge of spotting a danger and great at saving balls from close in. Wasn't he so good in the air, although it was underestimated. He could jump quite high, Andy. My right back would have been Sandy Jardine for his versatility. Great defender. My 2 centre backs, because I believe in good pairings, I would have Richard Goff and John Brown. I think they both complemented each other. Goff strong in the air, John Brown very underrated, great in the tackle, die for Rangers. Left back, I would have had Arthur Newman for his attacking prowess and also a solid defender. My middle 3 would have been Gascoigne, Barry Ferguson and Jim Baxter. All the skill in the world and determination to win games between they 3. And up front, I would have attacking 3 of Laudrup, McCoist and Davy Cooper. Davy Cooper in there for his ability, not the fastest player in the world, but his ability to beat players and go past them and spot a pass. Also, I needed a free kick taker in my team, and it would have been him. So that would have been my attacking 4-3-3.
All right, okay. Interesting. A couple of the same players I think that was in your team, Robert. Newman and Ferguson.
Yep. Surprised at that?
Yeah, no. Fox is a fair man. Yeah. Right.
Are we saying then, obviously, fair to say that Fox being a slightly mature generation, is Newman the best left back this club's had then?
Oh, no for me.
Oh, there's been a few, but Arthur was probably, I'd say, all round the better player, but great performance in the years back.
Have you no fun the Cod River Royal or the WD-40 yet?
That's my squeaky leg, mate. I just got a new wooden leg there.
Newman. John Gregg finished his career at left back, didn't he?
I know, but although named as the greatest ever Ranger, I think there have been better players than John Greig, if that's fair to say.
Bold statement. No, for me, Giant. I think there was a spell where Davy Robertson was absolutely wonderful for us. Yeah. And Smith's team in the middle to the end of 9 in a row. I don't know what you think about that, Fox.
Davy Robertson was a brilliant. There's older players that people would pick as well for maybe the 70s, you know, Eric Caldos and things like that, mate, that people would pick. But I picked a team on what I was thinking of an attacking side, and that'd have been an attacking side for me.
Aye, but some people would go for Newman, Giant. Some people.
Yeah, it's different. It's different generations and styles of football, isn't it? The way football plays change constantly, isn't it? So it depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Who would manage your team, Giant?
I think that's a case of who goes first. It'd be Walter Smith for me.
Okay. What about you, Robert, then? Oh, he's still Walt.
Thanks, JM. Alex McLeish.
Underrated, mate. Underrated. Mr. Fox?
Apart from myself,
Of course.
I would have took Dick Advocat, mate, because I think he'd have got the best out of my team.
All right, okay. Well, I'm surprised at that, Fox.
Is that?
You know, I'm also surprised there's only one Barcelona player in your team, yeah?
Yes, I know, mate, but I've seen different.
Is that because they lost 15 games in one season?
No. I think it's a different quality of player now than was back then. We had great players like Willie Johnson and Big Colin Steen, of course, and things like that. Dave Smith, who was my all-time favourite, you'll notice I left him out. I was between him and John Brown actually at one time, but I've given it to John Brown because I thought that partnerships mean a lot in football.
Well, there you go. I'm surprised you know about Dave Smith.
So am I.
Yeah. Yeah, people will be surprised at that. Fox has been listening to that show for a long time, eh?
Aye, I know, he was my hero as I was growing up, but I think that John Brown was a good, versatile, solid centre-half and worked really well with Richard Gough, mate, especially during that 9 in a row. I thought they two were outstanding.
By the way, Fox, before I go to Robert, but with that wee advert we done for the Christmas thing, it slipped my mind. You forget that Bob had won 8 championship medals, yeah?
Aye.
It's remarkable.
I think he's very underrated, Bomber, you know.
Played a few positions for us as well, yeah?
He did indeed. Where he came from Dundee, wasn't it? We going for.
Bargain, mate, bargain. Robert, you checked that Rickson stat out yet? The advocate?
I've got his honours up. Let me check. I do have them in front of me. And he did get some honours in 2001, 2002, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005. So I was successful in the early years, I'll say, but I can't exactly remember if it was under Advocate at that point.
When did that Advocate leave us?
Did he not leave us in 2001, 2?
Check it out, mate. And McLeish came in, yeah? Leave it with you.
2001.
Yes, mate. Yeah, check it out.
I thought he had Rickson for a season, and that's when they got some trophies there, but must have also been 01-02 season under McLeish.
Yep. The last Dick Advocate season was Barron. And McLeish came in and doubled, then treble. You know, just shows you how your memory plays tricks when you're still in nappies, JM.
Yeah, I would have been able to. I would have guessed that Rickson maybe won something of Abacab. Obviously, forget the end of that season and then how sharply McLeish came in to win that double, don't you?
Yeah, I think that was the only season he played right back with number 1 Ed and Robert. No comment.
No comment. No, do my homework for next Tuesday.
All right. Well, there might not be a next Tuesday mate, after that one.
Thanks for the call. Don't be a stranger. One of those ones.
Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. Fox, some great players, some great memories in there. Eh?
Aye, there was for most people, yes. What more can I say?
Fox, I'm not surprised that you had a couple of players at your young team and there. Eh? Is that because you're young at heart?
Oh, I've watched them over a long period of time, the Rangers, and quality came into that the Rangers Football Club at all different times, mate. A lot of them never played together, but it's a pity that we couldn't pick a team that could play together like that. I mean, could you imagine a midfield with Barry Ferguson sitting, mate, Gascoigne and Jim Baxter, mate? How would you like to be them sitting in front of them with them playing, mate? You scored goals for fun, wouldn't you? McCoy's would be 1,000 goals, mate, never mind 400 nods.
Aye, Gaza. I never seen Baxter before my time, Fox, you know.
Wasn't he the most workman-like player, but skill and abundance, mate. Absolute vision out of this world. Put a ball in a tanner, as they used to say years ago. Could have picked passes for Loudrop running through there at the front, or just sliding it. Him and Davy Cooper used to work well together when they did play.
Who? McCoy, Cooper?
Aye.
Aye, at times, aye. As they developed, aye. I'm going to put the two Youngs team on the top spot. We'll go to you, Robert, first. Who's your under 30s, we said? Who's your all-time best Rangers player that you've saw?
From the team that I've picked, or just overall?
Your choice, your freedom, mate, yeah. I would imagine it'd be in your team.
Aye. Probably Albert's, the quality they had. Probably that was an era where football was changing, and again, just the level and class and the quality that was on show in that team in particular. But Albert's just seemed to be one that just stands out.
Okay. What about you, JM?
My favourite, Stephen Davis. Got to be just the way he came in that. He wasn't. It's not flash or anything, but just a quality player, consistent, always played well. Came back 55. We still haven't replaced him. 37 years of age, even after when he got injured, we still haven't replaced Stephen Davis. Just what's the saying? Class is permanent. And when we were dominating for them sort of 2-3 years when Walter Smith came in, it was unbelievable. We just every game, just bossed every game.
Yeah, the fact that he's been involved in 2 Europe finals, 15 year apart, 14 year apart, yeah, it's frightening, huh?
Yeah, just the longevity of him just shows obviously kind of his style of play. You know, it's not energetic, but he was a box midfielder, ran up and down, but the maturity to go back and almost play as a sitter and just distribute the ball, and the conditioning to look after himself, just a class act.
All right, so we'll get a wee poll going after we have a tune. Who's the best player? Davis or Alberts, yeah? That's fair, isn't it? We'll see how that goes, yeah?
See what the people think.
See what the people think. So, yeah. Better player. Davis or Alberts. Two great players. Right, okay.
Different players.
Different types of players. That's the thing about football. You know, people see the game so differently. You know, there'll be people falling off the chair when Foxes went for Brown and Goff. But you see they wanted to bring in a partnership rather than two individual players, and that, there's a lot of sense in that, Jaya.
Yep, agree. Hence why David Weir and Maggie Bagheera.
But Bagheera even managed to do in the World Cup, didn't he? Was it England he was man of the match against in South Africa, wasn't it?
Had Rooney in his back pocket, didn't he?
I don't think he'd fit in his back pocket now, would he?
No, not that beard, anyway.
He did well at Birmingham, didn't he? Aye. Everybody sees the game different, aye. If you could take one player for the past, who would it be and put them in your team, Robert?
That's a tough one.
Apart from myself, of course.
Of course. David Cooper.
David Cooper. Legend. Top player. Top bear. Top man. From yourself, JM?
Between the two, but I think Gaza. Gaza for me. I would love to have been able to see him at his, watch him live at Ibrox.
All right, okay. Are you saying you've never watched Gaza live at Ibrox?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, maybe you should do your homework. Right, okay. Fox. That'd be a real interesting question for Fox, because she's getting back, way back. Fox, if you could take somebody for the past, guys that you'd heard stories about and put them in your team, who would it have been?
Oh, I don't know. That's a hard one.
Right.
You talking about the present day team, or?
No, put them in your team that you never seen a way back. Would it be Alan Morton? Would it be Michael John? Would it be Willie Woodburn?
Oh, I don't know, mate. I couldn't really say, mate.
You need to get that chair fixed.
I know. Maybe Wally Waddle. I don't think I've ever seen Wally Waddle.
Wally Waddle. Did you not see him, no?
No, not I can remember, mate.
Right. Okay, all right. Interesting. Right, it's Davis, Alberts, and two more players, yeah? We need a poll. We need 4 for the poll. Oh, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll go for your other wide players, which was Neil McCann. Who else?
Peter Lovingrantz.
Right. Neil McCann and Peter Lovingrantz, and we'll see who wins it, yeah?
Only one. You've got Davies as a centre midfielder, obviously.
Yeah, we played right in 2008. Well, played right.
Yeah, it'll work. Well, give them 4.
Yeah. I mean, Robert's got guys in that team that never played in their positions. Robert?
They can do a job. They'll do a job.
All right, okay. All right. We got to that time. Yes, we have. Listen, get yourself in mute. And remember, we need phone callers. So get yourself in mute, because we're going to have a tune.
From Argyle, so young, to Glasgow City, they come, seeking fortune and a new way of life. How could they know ambitions would grow? Such a beautiful story, and here's how it goes. 4 lights had a dream to start a football team. still carried on. The Rangers were born. 55 titles, we're still going strong. So hoist up your Rangers flags, sing with your heart and voice, celebrate the greatest club in the world. Let our history show what we already know. We are the Rangers, the greatest of all. For life had a dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no care, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, we're still going strong. For that's had a dream, to start a football team. They had no money, no kid, not even a ball. They still carried on. The Rangers are gone. 55 titles, we're still going strong. 55 titles, we're still going strong.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Right, we're back, gentlemen.
Yep.
Back.
Yep, all right, okay. Anyway, I just think with all the players you just named there, some top players, yeah. You can argue about positions, whatever, formations, whatever, all day long, but would you say that the most famous player that was mentioned tonight in both your teams might have been Claudia Caniggia? Would that be fair, Robert?
I think it'd be fair to say that, mate. GB asked me a question that night before my sleep out, and he asked me like a memorable player from the past, and I always remember Caniggia because he was my first player that I had an autograph from, and I always kind of remembered him as that kind of obviously the first autograph, and then when the way he played, the long hair, the headband, just iconic in a way when you think about it back in the past. A great player as well.
Yeah, aye. And a surprising pick, Giant.
Yeah, just one of them when you sit and think about it, and obviously when you watch stuff on YouTube, whatever, and you see him, obviously he scored some League Cup final different times. Last game of the season for me, he scored some important goals, and then you just sort of dig it. You just remember sometimes just what a class act he was. And you start digging into it, and you hear majority of people, football fanatics have heard of him. So I'd say so, especially of this, if you like the modern, the young team region time, probably our most famous one, yeah.
Yeah, felt as if you blinked, you missed him, Obviously, a lot of players that come and go, But aye, real, by the way, good effort, boys. Good effort. Off it cuff, yeah?
Yeah, not bad. You sort of find yourself struggling, I mean, for centre-backs and that, because we didn't, when you start mentioning a couple, we had, especially in the Advocate era, there was a few, it got swapped a bit, didn't it? Quite a bit.
Oh, well, Advocate era, obviously. Craig Moore played in there with Amaruso, didn't he?
Yeah, that was kind of the... And I guess I'm thinking, again, that was more McLeish when they tried to get big compliment and go.
And that was Advocat signed them, and then McLeish played them in front. Yeah.
Was that when he scored the goal?
Yeah. That was I think that was when McLeish won his first trophy. Yeah, it was the semi-final. He scored that goal, but you're right. My memory right, boys. A trivial thing. Some of these stats might be wrong because they're off the cuff, Robert.
Well, you wouldn't get picked up for a wrong if I was to by the sounds of it, mate, so don't worry. I thought Richard played right back under Advocate.
He's frying my brain. It's been a long day.
It's all about portraying confidence. We could all be wrong.
Every day, mate. Every day. I'll tell you every night on this show. Every night.
Fox, right. One thing that stuck out for me there was, listening even to Fox, was we had a great number of players, but in particular, we've always had great goalkeepers. And then probably pre-2012, we've had some brilliant quality strikers. But you can obviously see how times have changed with certain positions. But goalkeepers and strikers, we seem to have been inundated with some quality at times, in particular the two positions.
It's funny. I mean, people have talked about the greatest goalie, Andy Gorham. You look at Andy's physique. I think he's about 5'10", Andy. You know, and he was just unbelievable. He's shot stop, and he was good with the ball at his feet, Giant. Yeah, and it was new to his generation. The kind of ball was new because the rules had changed.
What the pass was that? The pass back rule changed. Is that in it? Yeah, so you used to be able just to pick it up and roll it back out and knock it around. Yeah. So he was kind of ahead of the curve, was he?
And then, you know, when he finished, obviously, Gloss came in and he was top goalie as well, but he didn't have his physique, and even Alan, who was about 6'1", I think. You know, you compare it with Jack, the goal we've got this new just fills that goal, doesn't he? Obviously, he's lost goals, but you just feel confident with him. Giant.
Yeah, you don't. You're not panicking It's different, isn't it? It's weird. As good a goalkeeper, obviously world class top keeper Alan McGregor was. Every time the other team got a corner, there was always that bit of fear. They put a decent ball on the 6-yard box, they're going to get a chance because he doesn't come for it. Especially in his second spell, maybe when he got a little bit older. But just have to look at the last couple of minutes of that European game there on the other Thursday, 90th minute. Butland just comes out, takes all the pressure off. And that's going to be even better in domestic games when these teams are only relying on the long ball.
Yeah. I mean, we can't call Jackman, but maybe Linda will call my legend, Robert. But, you know, we just need to give him time, medals, and longevity, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But as I said, the early indications in what he's produced so far for is at big moments and big games already. He certainly gives you that confidence. And although there's probably eyebrows raised when he first came in about the lack of football he played, that's not been shown. He's hit the ground running, and he's probably been the most consistent player, even under Beale, and then obviously Clement. So credit to where it's due. It's a good find, and long may it continue and be successful. As you say, all he needs to do is add the trophies and winners' medals to his name.
Yeah. Hopefully, loads and loads of them. Yeah, but top goalies, top strikers. You know, I thought maybe if he's went for one for the past the two, he's went for Ali. He's never. That surprised me. Giant.
Yeah, Ali, obviously, right. So a goal scorer, you know, a record goal scorer for the club until modern football changed. He held, if you like, the old school European record, but putting the ball net's one thing. But I just think there's classier acts behind him. You know, maybe a bit more entertaining. Whatever. You know, Chris Boyd was a top goal scorer. I don't think he'd be anybody's in modern time. So I think it's just, you know, maybe people. Goal scorers and obviously a lot of famous goals, but people remember also entertained them at the same time.
Oh, I would have Chris Boyd in the media.
Yeah, he'd be our top pundit, isn't he? He seems to be the only one we have out. He seems to be the only one we have out there doing the job.
Aye. Alley, Robert.
He was my humming and hawing between him and Cooper. But again, as Jim said, I went for the player with the entertainment, the bit of flair, and you watch highlights of Cooper, you hear of stories of past of supporters that have seen him and just the way he done stuff with the ball. And that's probably the player that, if you're looking at the team that I picked, and it's probably lacking a bit of flair and creativity, and Cooper would have brought that.
Yeah. Couldn't run one foot, but what a player. That's not true to say couldn't run that, but he wasn't electric, if that makes sense, Robert, yeah?
Yeah, but what he could do with the ball, it certainly looked special. Obviously in the highlights you see the KP ups and the finish, and just a great player to watch, and unfortunately we didn't get to see him in the flesh ourselves, but you just have to listen to people like yourself and Fox that have witnessed him and how a good footballer he really was.
Why? I'm trying to rack my brains with my team. I'm struggling in the midfield, if I'm being honest, Giant.
Too many options, or are you just trying to too many options?
I've got my back four and my goalkeeper. Yeah.
I think what especially sort of if you like the Advocate and McLeish stages, maybe we're talking mine and Robert's early memories when you started going into the Watts FM. It was more bang average players in a good team, if that made sense. Not many stars in it, so it was hard to sort of make up a team of proper memories. Yeah. I don't know if it's the same for you, or if you're just trying to figure out.
No, I mean, my back four. I'm just trying to in my head get in the midfield, because we're doing this off the cuff, but. I mean, all options, and you're trying to get a blend right. You're not trying to put guys that have never played in that position. You wouldn't be that stupid, you know what I mean, Robert?
No, not at all, mate. Don't know who would do that.
No, I mean, I'm trying to think. Go and get him in it, and then you've got 13 players, no? No easy. You might hear my back four.
Go on then.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm going for Chris Woods in goal. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm going for Gary Stevens, Davy Robertson, Richard Gough, and Terry Butcher. And I can't believe I've said that. They plays for Tamforsyth.
Solid back four.
Yeah. All right. Our midfield of I've got Gazza in it. Bobby Russell. No, doesn't work. Gazza on the right, then you can't play Bobby Russell. Gazza on the right. Right, okay.
You got it. It's not as easy. You gave us enough.
Right, right. I'll come back to you. Talk amongst yourselves, right? I've contradicted myself before I've moved on, yeah. But we'll find out how the poll's going if we can find out. Old school boy, let us know how the poll's going. But come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Give us your thoughts, give us your team. And then we'll slowly start building up to Sunday. Big game, JM. Big game. Bridge Munsey's biggest game of the season. I understand that, yeah. That's momentum's so important.
Yeah, momentum's important. Obviously, the fixture itself. There's, I think we struggled there mainly because they make it a cup final. They're really going to be pumped for it. Important to get back after the international break. We're on a great run, and it just keeps that feel-good factor going. Obviously, unfortunately, where we are in the league, every game is important because we feel like we can't lose ground, but. We take each game as it comes, but very, very important to get a good start and to start this next massive run of fixtures positively.
It's one of these games. I just take a bridge, man. I want us to win every game comfortable, but if the whistle goes, we win game 1-0. I take that, Robert.
Absolutely, mate. And it's points on the board, and as Giant says, we're at a stage already where we think we can't slip up, and we know this has been a hard place to go before because they do step up and have that game against us, whereas if it was another team from Glasgow, they probably wouldn't. So it's a tough one to go back after the break, but I think, again, more confident now than if it were a previous manager.
Just to let you know, George Alberts is ahead of the poll with 51%. Stephen Davis second with 34%. Surprised?
Some people just have no taste.
Oh, the gloves are off, Robert.
This is what happens when you play players in the right position.
Right, I think we've been joined by Davy. Evening, Davy. Come on, Davy. No, he's not with us. Hopefully with us any second now. Evening, Davy. Last chance. No, Davy. Hopefully he's in a second. Aye, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised because it's all about opinions. I'm surprised in the gap, if I'm being honest, JM, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we didn't throw the other two, because who else we got in there? Obviously, we got Lovenkrantz and McCann in there.
They're next to nothing, mate. Yeah,
7 yeah, a couple, obviously. I mean, a lot of people I can see, because Lovenkrantz is going to take a bit of the vote because, some important goals. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if it was just the two of them. But I am surprised. I would have still went with Stephen Davis because of his longevity. I know Albert's played for a while, but longevity and just a constant. Albert's had some moments of greatness, didn't he? But for me, because Stephen Davis kept the team playing well consistently.
And for the defence, Robert?
Just for Neil McCann, just for the defence for my
No,
choice.
for Albert's, his argument against Albert's, you need to get right to reply.
Probably it's a generation thing. People probably think of Alberts as the fan favourite, done what he did at the club, scored important goals, and Steve Davis again's a very great shout, to be fair. But it's probably just one that the fans think they've probably seen Alberts do more on the park than Davis, a kind of successful period in what he's done, what he's won. Generations though, isn't it? It's a big gap.
Are you saying that Alberts has won more than Stephen Davis?
At Rangers? Or as a whole?
No, are you saying that Alberts has won more than Stephen Davis?
No. I'll research.
I'm just asking you. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I'm asking you a question.
Top of my head, I don't think there's a lot in it.
Okay. For the top of my head, I think the two of them might have won 2 with Water and 2 with Advocate league titles. Yeah, I think they might be 4 each league titles. Yeah.
Yeah, just work it out, Davies and Albert. Yeah, that sounds about right, does it?
Yeah, but right. Yeah. Listen, Dave, if you're there, we keep trying to phone you back, but you keep hanging up and it doesn't work if you don't pick up the phone. Interesting. Oh, Robert's away, being on the way again, JM.
Yeah, I'm doing a bit of a mental note to try and figure out cups wise. Obviously, leagues are tied out. I'm just trying to figure out who would have won the more domestic cups.
Well, I would say that Albert's with Water at the back end. These Scottish Cups, I don't think he was in that team. The guys in that, was he? I don't think he was. And he came in, and then the road team, then the Barton season, and then he had the treble under Dick, and then with the double, Stephen Davis, Walter's team, 2007, 2008.
Hello, it's David Fairdrie who's not had any calls.
All right, that's different from what I was called. You there, baby, yeah?
I am here, pal. How are you, all right?
You keep putting the phone down. That was a message I got, yeah?
No, that was just last night with the Dugs, pal, that's all.
How you doing? What's on your mind?
No, I just thought it was a great poll tonight. Well, not a poll, but a great debate tonight about the all-team team and all that. So, it's great to hear the different generations with different players involved in it. So,
you've been a bit younger than used to. What's your team?
Oh, God, no. I wish I wrote it down there. But I'd start off with Gorham and goals. The goalie has to be the man. Stevens, Goff, probably Butcher, partner, because that was quite good. Davy Robertson. I'd probably go for Fergie, maybe a holding role in midfield. Caniggia is one that I've heard mentioned a few times tonight. Gaza, Loudrop, that's your flair. With Super Ali and Haitley up top, I think that would be my top pick for what I've seen.
All right, okay, all right. Right, I think my back four, my goalie's different for years. I've got Chris Woods, but I've got the exact same back four, yeah?
Right, okay.
All right, and I'm going to go for John Gregg at his peak sitting in front of them, yeah, with Gaz on the right, and Ian Durant on the left. And up front, I'm going for Loudrup on the left, Derek Johnson at centre forward, and right wing because Davy Cooper.
Aye, good shout. A couple of them before my time, but definitely that's a team and a half, that, isn't it?
Aye, it's all about opinions, mate. Yeah, it's a bit of fun, bit of trivia. Robert, you're having a badging, mate.
I think the call's getting to me, pal.
You know, bold statements. We've been hit Jimmy's come out with that one, huh?
I must admit, I wouldn't have known beforehand, but I never made the statement. Stephen Davis, a class above. Trophies.
Albert, 7 trophies. Stephen Davis, how many, Robert?
10 trophies and 2 European runners-up. I'll be honest, I didn't think it was that many for Davis. Surprised me.
Well, he's having a mare. GB will be raging. JM, won't he?
Yeah, disappointed.
He'll be hurt. You'll be hurting your family when he's listening to that. Your dad when he's listening to that.
Education this evening.
Some great players, Dave. Yeah, some great players.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you imagine putting that team in some of the teams in the park now. My God, you bite the player with everybody.
Aye. Who's your all-time favourite, Davey?
Oh, that's a hard one as well. I think watching, for a personal point of view, I think Gaza on his day was just absolutely phenomenal. You look at the likes of the goal against Aberdeen and stuff like that. Just what a player he was. What a player. But it's a toss-up, him, Loudrup and that sort of generation. What a partnership they were as well for the goals that they scored and created for each other. Phenomenal.
Yeah, getting partnerships in can be quite difficult, because they're not always the best players, but as a partnership, JM, they're superb.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Are you just gonna go for your individuals who you think are your best players, but as the old school, your best players don't always make your best team, or are you going to go for a team that you think might win and do something? But obviously, Robert's gone for who he thinks are his best players. I went for more of a team.
Robert?
I can't say too much. I'm not on a great night, am I? So I'll probably take the loss in this one and get to Giant, but it is hard when you think about all the players we've had over the years, and particularly our working generation of growing up and the way it's went from high quality and then down the leagues. The quality obviously dropped quite a bit, but we're on the rise up, and who knows, maybe if we do this in a couple of years' time, we'll have some different opinions.
Yeah, I can't believe Steve Simonson and Kabari and guys like that, Kevin Kell weren't in the team, Davey.
I was just going to pick Dressers there, but you've just stole my thunder.
I forgot about him. We were talking about old days to try and forget about him.
No winner.
You know.
3 goals in 3 league games. Don't worry about him.
And if he scores against Aberdeen, he'll have the same goals as Lawrence Shankland, who we've been banging on about for the past couple of weeks.
It's pretty
More goals in our season than our star that was Ryan Kent.
See if we can if you can't score a goal against Aberdeen after what that mob done last week, come on. You could score and I could score.
It'll be a different game, Davey. You know that and I know that.
Oh, well, I touched on that last night as well. They always turn up a performance against us. It's like a cup final every time they play. So, listen, roll on the weekend. I'm looking forward to it again. We're back to the sort of the league campaign. A wee bit of momentum going forward. And again, as I said previously, I think that the managers get the team playing well. People that you never ever thought you'd get a tune at, you seem to get a tune at them. So, onwards and upwards.
Aye. Listen, Robert, Sunday's a big game.
It is, and as I said earlier, it's a tough game to come back on after the break and a tough away fixture. And as Davey said, they turn up against us for some reason. They don't lie down, they don't gaze the points or roll over. They make it a contest, and I'm sure that it won't be any different when they go up there. But I think just the way we've been playing, I said earlier, there's an air of confidence about it. I think if it was a previous manager, we would be looking at it going, this could be a banana skin. Whereas now it's full of confidence. They're not playing great. Despite turning up against us, we should be comfortable. And I think we've got some players coming back, hopefully, for this game as well, which is going to be good. The manager might actually have almost a full squad to pick from. If not now, then in a few weeks, all being well.
Who have we missed, Gingham? Who have we missed?
From our injured player, who have we missed? Obviously, come back. You know what? Because we hadn't seen much positive before it all started. I think the big one in coming back, Danilo coming back. Obviously, we've missed our main striker, haven't we? He seems to be going to be our mainstay. We've clearly missed Danilo and having that extra edge up front, finishing chances we should do. And yet to come to the floor, but I think we're still missing at his peak coming from last season, Tom Cantwell at the moment.
Yeah. If Cantwell and Lawrence perform in the same team, it's going to be interesting. Davey, yeah?
Sorry, I think it's just how he's going to... Sorry, I lost you there. I think it's how he's going to fit the money. I think Lawrence... I think, again, he could be a really, really good player for us this season. It's just down to formation and injuries, as we said previously. I think he has to find a way and a shape to make these two guys play in the same team.
See, particular at Ibrox, do we need two sitters? Could you not have one sitter and they two playing forward against certain teams, David?
You probably could have, to be fair, but again, it's back to, we're talking about Aberdeen here, for the game at the weekend.
Game at the weekend. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying that
right.
When we're playing St Mirren or St Johnstone in the next game at Ibrox, and And do we need two sitters?
Oh, no, definitely. I agree with you there, 100%. I think it's just for certain games that you're going to need that type of formation. Whereas at home, you should be rolling out these teams, no bother.
I agree. But it's horses for courses, and try to get the right blend and the right square pegs and square holes. Robert.
It is, and as I said, we're going to hopefully have a full squad to pick from. And you mentioned there, if you can get Lawrence and Cantwell on the same team, then it's a positive. But then you've got players like potentially Matondo. You could think of a front three of Matondo, Sima, and Danilo. That just sounds electrifying pace to me. May not be the greatest attributes, but if you wanted a fast attacking three, there's three there. But then where do you fit Lawrence, Cantwell, and Raskin? How do you fit them all in? But it's probably a great dilemma to have, and it's something that we've not had the chance of doing, of having so many players available, especially in the kind of more forward positions. Like a number 10, you could play Cantwell, Lawrence. You've got Lammers, you could play in the 10. You've got a few options, and you might just see a couple of trial positions for some players to see what works better and where the cohesion and the chemistry is. But at the same time, we've been winning, so we don't want to change a winning team too much, do you? So cliche.
Anyway, we've been joined by Bob Jar. Evening, Bob Jar.
Evening, everyone. How are we doing?
All right, Bob
All
Jar.
right.
Evening,
What's
Bob
the
Jar.
topic? The forthcoming game on Sunday.
We've not even reached that. It's only Tuesday, Bob Jar.
All right. Okay. What we want about tonight? Former players.
We're talking about quantum physics, mate.
All right.
And how it's changed the game.
Quantum physics. How it's changed the game. Aye. Changed the game. All right. Well, I mean, I'm sorry I phoned in tonight. I mean, you disturbed me at my rocket science.
No, we just get round to Sunday. We were talking about the young boys were being at their best teams, mate, and we were just trying to talk about getting Lawrence and Cantwell on the park. The two were creative players. How we fit them in, mate.
Well, it's, as Robert said the other day, it's a long time since we've had such a selection. He's certainly going to have everybody fit for Sunday by the looks of things, which is a good thing. So we can have, I've heard the full strength Rangers team on Sunday. It's a good fixture to have it in, because that lot's attitude definitely will change, as we all know. So, all to the good. So I can't wait for Sunday to come, because this international carry-on don't man nothing like everybody else. I can't wait till Sunday. I'm sick of hearing about what they're going to do and what they're not going to do. Well, that's up to them. It's all about the Jazz for me.
Looking forward to it myself. We definitely own one. I think they've got a false sense, haven't they? After they played us at our lowest, fully fit squad, ready to go. Looking forward to it myself.
Aye. So who's back then? Do you think Matondo will be back? Raskin back? Robert? Is that too early for Matondo?
Possibly too early for Matondo, but I think Raskin was back in training. I don't know obviously how rigorous that was. We'll probably find out later in the week if he's ready to go in the squad, but certainly a lot lighter in the injury department what we were 2 or 3 weeks ago. And it's not as a crisis as maybe first thought. I think the only one maybe that might probably miss out is, I think, Suter. Has he got a knock? And then maybe Roof. We don't know if he's match fit yet, what he's up to. We'll find out later in the week. But probably Raskin maybe come into the fold on the bench and then have maybe some involvement. Matondo probably later in the month.
All right. David, things are moving in the right direction as far as injuries are concerned.
Oh, aye, definitely. And I was going to actually ask that question. It's like, why all of a sudden is all these players making this miraculous recoveries and sort of getting back onto the field and training and what have you? Is he actually changed these things so quickly with the sort of medical staff and the training regime? It's to me, it's remarkable how fast they've come back.
I just think a baseball bat's always got powers of persuasion. Jim?
100%. Amazing what a bit of authority can do, bit of a fear factor. Few home truths as well, maybe, about what will be happening if they're not playing, not scared to tell players they can rot away of the B team or whatever. You're not interested. I think he made it very clear it's horses for courses, isn't it? And also maybe the clean slate that's been promised. It sounds like with various interviews that there was a click or a clique and there was only certain players that were going to be being played on the bill, and that's been taken away.
Do you think they'd fell out with... No fell out. Do you think they'd lost... They didn't fancy Beale? Is it that simple, Davey?
I really don't know. Is he too much of the good guy and sort of going to drink in the local taverners? I don't know. I really don't. It's difficult to say. But for what you're hearing from the inside, it kind of seems that way, unfortunately. And I never thought it would have turned out that way. I thought he was a great coach under Stevie. But a coach and a manager's two different things, isn't it? Let's be honest.
Right. It's like a bass player and a lead guitar, Bob, isn't it?
What was that, Ox?
It's like a bass player and a lead guitar. Two different things.
Oh, best player gets it every time.
Yeah.
Don't you? I can't a superb bass player, but I'll not tell you who he is. But aye, seriously, Beale, aye, good coach, never a manager, as was proved. And seeming that this man's tell a lot of them, if you're not going to contribute, you're not going to be here. I don't know, that's popular rumour, but I could believe that. They're not paying you loads of money for to lie on a treatment table for weeks and weeks, as has been happening. And if all right, every club picks up injuries, but God, Rangers picked up much more than their fair share for a long time, and it's got to stop. If you're going to employ these people to play for you, they've got to be fit, ready and available all the time, because it only contributes to your success.
I think I read with Jude Bellingham that Real Madrid have got £1 billion worth of players out, Robert.
Oh. If I had that luxury, that'd be great, wouldn't it? £1 billion worth of players. I don't think Dessers is near £1 billion right enough. Think they could do a swap deal for Bellingham?
Well, Bellingham likes your place, doesn't he? You never know.
He does indeed.
He's not got a very good record there.
What's that, mate?
He's not got a good record there, as Jude.
No, he hasn't, has he? No. He did play well in his ties, considering his age, but then he looks a cut above her.
He might be the best player in the world right now, mightn't he? He's so good for his age as well.
No, at the moment he's injured, mate.
I think already. He's coming back at the weekend. He'll be back.
Is he? Time for the Aberdeen game. He's a top player. I see football's changed with some of the ruling that's came the day for the EPL. That makes sense, JM. But now they're going to be allowed to loan players for other clubs.
Well, other clubs that they own or have stakes in, isn't it? So I think it was allowed, was it? But they got an opportunity to basically vote against it, didn't they? I think it was a bit of a grey area, and they got the chance to vote against it. I think it was 14-7. They went away. I think they needed a certain amount, and they never got there. So obviously, Newcastle, they've got their owners, the Saudi state, or whatever, own a club, so they can be buying players for the Premier League clubs and then loading them back to Newcastle, and that's all apparently allowed. And I think there's a few parent clubs, isn't there, in different stuff. Brighton are a parent club of a certain team, and there might be other setups similar. Interesting times of football now, especially when it gets to the European stage of things, when these teams can be playing against each other.
Yeah. So loan players, can they come in out with the window? Is that what you're saying?
No, not out with. I don't think, obviously, there's loan and transfer windows, but what I mean is obviously that, for example, Newcastle, their owners own a club in Saudi. Obviously, owners of Newcastle, they could be buying players from any club and then just loan them in the transfer window.
So they could buy Bellingham for Real Madrid and then loan him to Newcastle for a year. Is that what you're saying? And then no money for Newcastle would swept hands.
Yeah, no, so these clubs could start using that to manipulate financial fair play.
So they could get rid of financial fair play. Newcastle, say for instance, not saying they will, but they could, because they don't. Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying. Oh dear, the game's changing, Bob. Yeah, the game's changing, and I don't know if it's all for the better.
That's still for the better. I don't like. See, there's loan care, and I don't like it. You either play for a club or you don't. And there's too much tinkering with the game now. I'm not going to go on about VAR. That's a different subject altogether. Or is it? You don't know. There's too much tinkering with the game. Loans, VAR, there's even a woman coach at Union Berlin now. Did you see that? A lassie coach. She's the assistant manageress, I may add. And this is another. To me, it's another step down. If the women are going to play football, okay, let them play football. Didn't include them in the men's game. I'm maybe being a bit chauvinist there, I don't care. But too much thinking with the game.
Mm-hmm. You might see it, mate. You might see it. You might see a woman coach. It'll be interesting to see how it pans out. Whether you'll see a woman's player in the men's game, I don't know. But it's interesting. You know, however, I don't know if it's all for the best. We're in a real difficult position to keep this 10th, to keep the coefficient of Europe up. We're fighting a lot of fronts, Dave, here.
Without a doubt. But again, obviously the recent account showed that you still turn a coin. So it's not as if we're making as much money as we made in the last few seasons with the player transfer model and obviously paying off ex-managers, etc., etc. But I think we're always on the back foot against the likes of the English Premiership. You know, you look at the money involved with Sky and all these people. You know, we're just a drop in the ocean. We're just a secondary citizen to these guys. You know, they're just doing it for the sake of getting Scottish subscribers, as far as I'm concerned.
Sky, I don't think they're interested about the number of Scottish subscribers, mate. It's a drop in the ocean. That's the problem. That's the problem. You've got giant TV audience in it.
Yeah, people aren't tuning in. It's hard, isn't it? Our game's in a serious state with the advertising or whatever, but they wouldn't listen, would they? It was all good and all rosy. You compare that, if you like, the two equivalent Super Sunday only last week or 2 weekends ago when you had our game on, and then obviously that one for them against Aberdeen compared to the West Ham Forest and the City Chelsea. One of them on a plastic pitch where no one could see because of the sun. The other one had a half-empty stadium. You're not going to sell that to anybody, are you?
No. Yeah, it needs a root and branch.
It's only important if it's important. It's only good for the people it's important to, is it? You're not getting the neutral, getting interested in watching that.
Mm-hmm. It needs a root and branch. But that's a whole different debate, Robert.
It is, and unfortunately, it's not going to change anytime soon. Let's be honest. As Davey said, Sky are lining their pockets, and they're quite happy to do so with this agreement, and nothing's going to change. The Scottish game isn't going to change, and unfortunately, nobody, as Jim said, nobody wants to sit and watch what we put on half the time. Quite happily sit and watch it in Europe, like us in a European game, because it's a more entertaining attacking game. But there's just no grasp of wanting to sit and watch a game of Scottish football. Unfortunately, it's all down south. It's where the money's made. It's where the attraction is. And as Jim says, you're getting a better game at 4 o'clock on a Sunday than you're at 12 o'clock in Scotland.
Mm-hmm. Aye. It's a whole different show and a whole different debate. Bob, how do you think things are building up nicely for this season? I know we're points behind the league, but there seems to be a bit of positivity about the club at the moment.
Oh, there's a bit of momentum gathering, I think. And if we win on Sunday, I'm saying if we will win on Sunday. And the momentum will gather again. Aye, he's got no bad squad of players there. And we'll still see his own people coming in. So we don't know. It's going to take time. But then again, we're Glasgow Rangers. You got time. Aye, to me it's offer review. I really like this man, and the consensus opinion I get on here on the show and what have is that everybody does, and we've got faith in him, and we think that this man can deliver. And once he gets his own satisfactory squad together, I'm sure he will deliver. I was going to say is, I mean, think about what you're losing leagues to. I'm not going to quote names, you know them all. Think about what you're losing leagues to. We're better than that, surely. We've got to be. We must. It's about time Rangers were consistently successful again, and we're all craving it. It's been a long time for a bit of consistency on the trophy front. Let's hope this man can turn it around, and I'm sure he can. So, the future's right, the future's Rangers.
Are you feeling that, Davey, as well?
Yep, here. I agree with that wholeheartedly. We don't want to get too carried away in some instances. When we thought, as I said earlier, that with Beale coming in, we thought that was the brains behind the operation with Stevie G. But as I said, manager's a manager, a coach is a coach. But this guy comes in and he's actually, I don't want to swear, but he's kicking some butt, you know, and he's actually getting a tune out of these guys that we never ever thought we would get. And to me, it's onwards and upwards. There's nothing negative that I hear from his mouth. His press conferences, everything is fantastic. And the players are all speaking in the same sort of language now as well. Everything's consistent throughout the club, for what I hear.
As we said in the poll, you've actually fell in the poll a bit, Robert. You've fallen to 49%, and Stephen Davis has went up by 1%, but you're still leading, Robert. Yeah, good to see you get something right tonight, mate.
That's not bad. Third time lucky. I'll take that.
He's still defrosted.
What was that one, David? I missed it.
He's still defrosted.
Aye, rightly so. His brain's still frozen. Giant.
I think 49% of them voters' brains are still frozen as well. I don't know.
You're no better, aren't you? You're no a bad loser, are you?
I don't believe. Yeah, good thing it's been Robert losing, mate. I don't believe that. That's not right.
It's that old saying, isn't it? Handbags.
Aye, handbags. Aye, I think everybody's liking the manager. Robert, there is a feel-good factor, and that'll only continue if we win on Sunday. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
It will. And as I said before, it's about, yes, everything's going well at the minute, but it's how, if there was a blip, whether it be a draw or a defeat, what the reaction is after that. And I'm not saying that Sunday's going to cause an issue like that. I do think we'll win. But ultimately, as you said, it will only continue when it's going well, when we'll get that feel-good factor. But it's how, for me, it's how we react if or when that blip does come. And I think that the big thing that we've got for us is the cup final as well. I think that could be a springboard to the rest of the season. I know it's quite some time away and there's a lot of games of football to be played before it, but to have that to look forward to, get the first trophy, that could springboard us into the rest of the season, into the second half and into January as well, to see if or what happens with players in and out, if any, and just the confidence that builds from that.
Aye, momentum, Giant. Momentum. You know, it starts again, yeah.
Yeah, momentum. We had it, didn't we? And obviously the break, I think discussed earlier, it can work for or against you. We'll find out on Sunday if the break was at a good time, because obviously we get a good result. We'll say quality because we managed to get a few more players back fitter, give us some more options. If not, we'll say obviously we're on a good run. But kickstart the momentum going into a lot of games where I think it's going to work with this new manager, because he's got every player knowing that if they're training well and they're going to be involved. And with all these games coming up, every player is going to get a chance. And I think that it looks like everyone's buying into it at the moment.
Yeah, Bob Jarrett, it's changed quicker, isn't it? Because there was something wrong.
There was something wrong. Aye. It was called attitude. And I don't know what everybody seemed to get that day. We got beat 3-1 at Ibrox. I couldn't believe it. that period in that game when they had, I don't know, 5, 6 shots at goal, they were overpowering us that lot. Nah, never. And suddenly this man's came in and he's changed it. He's had an instant effect. Everything looks better. The club's playing better. We're getting better results. Then we forget what you said last night, Ox, I think, about the result out in Cyprus. That was dreadful. It was terrible. That should never have happened. And this man, he's going to change all this round. I'm not saying we're not going to be Real Madrid, but we're going to be a hell of a lot better than we were in recent times. And that can only be good. Good for the club, good for the punters. So, onwards and upwards. I really, really like this man. I think he's going to do a very good job for us.
Yeah, I think there's a honeymoon period, Davey. If something did go wrong, I think the players who maybe at times let us down, the punters would look at the players rather than the manager. He's got a bit of a free pass at the moment, eh?
Aye, of course he has. He's come in and he started off tremendously well. And we're no daft. We know there's going to be sort of bumps in the road in the way along there. But I think the way that he's got them playing in this short period of time, you can see in no long periods, but you can see in a lot of the games that he's got some sort of system for each game that he's playing against, whatever opposition it is. He's got sort of this presence, and his touchline presence, I think, is phenomenal in comparison to what we've had previously. And the guys are buying into it. It just looks as if they're buying into it, and long may it continue.
Aye, you see him barking at the referee, you see him barking at the fourth official. He's fighting for corner, Giant. Yeah.
Yeah, constantly. He's at the right time. Not silly, but it's just really. At times it looks like a calm character. That at certain times you look and he's harassing the fourth official, isn't he? And even one of the first games where what manager was it? Was Bowden. He was on the pitch kicking the ball.
Would you condone people? Would you condone people having a go at the referee?
No, it was never my style. I must admit, I like to just get on with the game and let the football do it. The referees do a fantastic job, but you don't. You just. It's good to see him sticking up for himself at the right times. Sometimes looking at that useless idiot, the predecessor with his hand in his pockets, looked like a lost soul, didn't it? Whereas this guy looks like he's trying to change things on the side.
Yeah, because what they're trying to do, Robert, they're trying to get the next decision, aren't they? That decision's gone. You know, when that goal get chopped off at Ibrox, that's when somebody's going to take one for a teammate of Storming. It's all that's that because refs are only human. They're trying to put the pressure on them to get the next decision your way, innit?
Aye, pretty much, mate. And as James says, the way that Clement does it, it's in a professional way. It's not aggressive or over assertive. It's just getting his point across in his way, and we've came across that fairly quickly. And I'm sure he'll continue to do it as well. And it's not just a half-hearted attempt at trying to impose a decision or anything. He's doing it at the right times in the right way. And I think that's just his demeanour. He does it as well in the press conferences, speaking to the media. So it's all professional. And I've said that on the show before. It's professional and experience from him. It's just a different level than what we've had the past 2 seasons.
I don't disagree. Right, Bob, yeah, we've reached that time of the evening. Last word for your good self, mate.
Well, on we go to Sunday, on we go to the Morris show. But I'm so about building up to Sunday now. And hopefully, as you said, we'll have a fully fit squad. And onwards and upwards. And I think we can do this on Sunday. We'll talk about it all week in the build-up to it. Thanks for having me on. Good night, lads.
Catch you later. Always a pleasure, Bob Gia.
All the best, boys.
All right. Top man, Bob Gia. Davey, we a great team you put forward tonight. Bit of fun, mate. No easy, is it? You end up arguing with yourself.
all the time. But listen,
it's when you start talking back to yourself, you get problems, mate.
Is that you you're talking to, or me?
Me.
No, listen, for the weekend, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping that the international break has actually gave us a bit more of a chance to work with the players and get a bit more done in the training park. All right, I know a lot of them are away in international duty, but I think it'll give him more time in the park to actually get his tactics right, his systems right, and everything else. And I know I said earlier that it's going to be a difficult game at Aberdeen, but there is a game, but we've got far too much for them come Sunday. So 2 or 3 for me, that'll do.
Take my chances, mate. Score the goals early, and the heads will go down, mate, and then they start reacting. We take the sting out again, but you have to put the ball in the net. That's the way there.
Without a doubt, I think they'll fold like a deck chair if we score a couple of early goals. I really do.
If you think back to that game at Ibrox, look, we deserved to lose the game, but we should have been 2 or 3 nothing, not before they were up the park. Should have been.
Definitely, but again, it's a different sort of system, different team, different everything now, you know what I mean? So I think he'll be playing in a totally different manner to what happened there at Ibrox. Cheers,
mate. Thanks for the call. Good to hear from you, mate.
Thanks again. I can go and walk the dogs now. All the best, boys. Take care. Speak to you soon.
Cheers, mate. Cheers, Robert. What have you learned tonight?
I was going to say, good show. I enjoyed that. I've learned a few things, definitely. But no, I enjoyed it, picking the players. And as you said, looking forward to Sunday now. International break's behind us. Hopefully we've got a full squad and let's go and kickstart this second phase as such into January.
And JM, you've learned that Albers is a better player than Stephen Davis.
I'm learning something about maybe the IQ of the listener. Nothing else but that. I back myself. No, it was good fun tonight, wasn't it? Different, obviously. International break ain't great for us. We want to get building up and talking about all things Rangers. Nice little filler. Looking forward to Sunday now, and like Robert said, into a busy international period. But just hope the guys go and carry on the way they've been playing, and we'll be fine. No doubt about that.
All right. Thanks to Davey Fairdrie, of course, the one and only Bob Jack Fox for joining us earlier on these words of wisdom. Top man over Fox. Young Robert and JM for putting herself forward tonight. Always good to hear from the young team. Thanks to everybody for listening. And Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10 talking about all things Rangers. And you'll never guess who's on. Take it away, Old School Blue.